think I should say shave?
Well, that's up to you. I just, if
But
it were
what's
me,
wrong with it?
I would clean it up. If
Yeah,
it were
but
me,
how do you mean clean it? You know, like
I would
taking
clean
the
it up.
sides off and like.
I would clean it up.
What do you mean about that?
I would cut it off from here. Take all that off. Leave the stash. I'd take that off.
What off? The whole fucking thing.
The goat. The goat.
All the goat.
Well, I would clean it up. Like keep this line right here.
Yeah.
Keep it to about right here.
Mm-hmm.
Shave all that off.
Yeah.
And then clean it up.
Yeah, that's so American, man. This is how it goes. This is modern. This is people like this.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, of course.
We all have our, our own, things.
This is different. This is cultural differences.
Yeah, because I get that too. If I get it too, but I just can't stand it.
Yeah, I will
make it feel weird.
I will say also to the person that thought that I was having a mohawk, that is actually not correct. The Swedish, haircut style is this way now, and it's not a mohawk. It's like more hair and
it's
less
New York
hair.
hipster meets Nazi meets
Should be
dapper
diaper
head
dapper. Yeah, okay.
And then I got the hawk here.
Yes, the hawk is like you have really long hair up there. You have I don't know. It's you should get the straight line here. Like the line would be like. I cut my own hair out, so that's why it's getting all this fucked up. It almost seemed like I should probably spend some money on it.
Our experiences of being a Central American in Sweden and versus the United States was very different. Can you tell us about what it was like to be Central American here in Stockholm, Sweden?
Yeah, this is a big city. This is the capital of Sweden. My perception of it is like it's very diverted and it's so many cultures. I have also grown up with other kids that is adopted from Guatemala. So for me, it has been like not that difficult actually. I've always felt like not that special in a way.
You were raised in a community of other adopted kids.
Yes, that's right. My mother, she had connections with other parents that was planning to adopt from all over the world actually, and she got to be friends with a lot of parents that decided to adopt from Guatemala, and they stayed friends after they had adopted us, and we did stuff all my growing up. We celebrated Christmases, we did picnics, we had events and stuff like that. So me being a kid having all that life it has felt normal, and I don't know, in a way maybe it has dramatized the thing of being adopted. Yes, and I always have people that look like me, my like direct contact. One of my best friends are from Guatemala.
And my good friend Captain Morgan, Xavier Morgan, he also asked, are there cultural similarities between Sweden and the United States, where we find ourselves, and how do you think that affects our ability to relate?
Yes, I think it's in general there is not that much difference. And I would say that because if you were living in like India and I was living in Morocco, that will be a cultural difference. But come from almost the western part of the world. We have the different things here that we have back in the U.S.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but
Jurassic Park.
Yes, the small things also, like you'll know how to get on a train, on a bus. This is the things that is like the same in here and in the U.S. And so that's lucky, I guess. So we don't have to like climb that mountain first and then and the language also. I can understand English and I can speak it, I can read it, and so that's a good thing also.
Watch the
yes,
keep bouncing.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I would say that the cultural differences are very small and very different, but still very similar. Uh, because this is a developed country, and the United States is as well, and that history goes back from who could adopt, who wanted to adopt, and yeah, I think I see many similarities, and of course, it's Sweden, and before Michel contacted me, I never ever dreamt of coming to Sweden. It was like the last thing on my mind.
And now you're moving here.
Yes, yes. Astrid, a very good friend of mine in Portland, she was adopted from Colombia and has been organizing different adopted events for especially people who are adopting children internationally and interracially. She's been coordinating other adoptees to come together and help other people who are adopted, and like as a pen pal kind of. And she asked something that I've thought about, and it is bizarre. I mean, you're in fucking Sweden, and I was Portland, Oregon, and we're both Guatemalan. And she asked, "Have we ever thought?" Because when she went back to Colombia, she learned many of her people from her orphanage went to French families, but she went to a family in the United States. Yes. Have we imagined you growing in the United States and me growing in Sweden? And this is where the realisticness comes in for me too. Like, to me, this is the experiment. What would I be like if I were raised in Sweden? Is when I look at you, I see myself like, yes. Oh, that's what could have happened being in a single mother in Sweden. Look at your tattoos.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. This way.
Soldemon. Fuck me. I'm sorry. Soldemon.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So for me, this is the answer. This is the what if question. And in the end, we are very different people, but this is the answer to the question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the answer right here, and that's the beauty of it, in a sense. Yes.
Somebody asked me, Prithvi, my friend Prithvi asked me if would you ever plan to go back to Guatemala with me?
Yeah. As far as I have thought about it, I don't know. I can't say. Probably, life is long.
He's got kids.
Yes, I got kids, but they will grow up and they will make time. But, I can't say right now. It's maybe, probably, I guess. My life isn't planned that long. I will, live 1 year at a time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, me too. I also recognize that Michel has a life here that's much more complicated than mine. I'm planning to go back to Guatemala by January. So, poco a poco, step by step.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
1 year at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, he has been to Guatemala.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Tell us about that, because I forgot.
Yeah, I was.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I was about 7, I think, and we traveled there. And I'm gonna be honest. Actually, my mother tried to adopt once again a brother to our family. It didn't turn out that way, but I have been there. I probably was too small to have all these memories, but I remember some stuff, and it was beautiful. It's a beautiful country, but for me, when I was in that age, this was a vacation. So, yeah, and I didn't have the sense of my adoption, and this was my home country and everything. So I didn't recognize it. It was a vacation for me. So yeah, this is the way. That was happened. I have just one. This is from Paulina Lind, and she asked us if we plan to have contact in the future, and I said no, I will not have contact with you in the future. This is it, and this is goodbye. Good riddance to you. Yeah. No, but serious, of course. Yeah, this is just the beginning. This is awesome. I have a really good time, and fuck, this hard to set even words on it, but. I really this is what actually what I wanted, what I anticipated also. You're a person. We get to know each other, and it's a new person in my life, and the I don't know the brother spectral. It will come, but this is the foundation, as you said, and so far so good.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I don't know. This is also my first experience, and your first experience with being near somebody that's biologically connected to you.
Yes.
And I've never had that privilege before. It's
No.
I've only been around people who are my family, and they are my family.
Yes.
But it's a whole other privilege to be around somebody who looks like you. Not only I can go to Guatemala and many people will look like me, but to see likeness in myself is such a. I've only seen that on LSD, and it's a feeling, an emotion. I'm not sure I believe in yet. Like many people have said, oh, you'll when you're around him, you're gonna feel this feeling, and I feel something. But again, like I don't believe in God or
Yes.
anything spiritual, so I'm very skeptical to say, oh, I feel this biological connection.
No.
But it is very comfortable and familiar, and that's a really interesting phenomenon to experience.
Yes.
And maybe it's our personality, maybe because we were adopted and we've been in an environment that is we're constantly having to adopt culture, friendships, adapt to urinals that are way too high. We're constantly adopting things, so maybe it's just our natural personality that we've developed to just be familiar and kind and just be like,
Maybe.
open-minded.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
and I'm not sure.
Yes.